What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. If you are watching on video, you'll see, I guess that Seal can't hear or something, but you'll also see what I was going to say is Seal is showing the difference between Florida and California, and that looks like overhead lights, or is that just a really nice lamp you have, Seal? How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing better if this left ear would start trying to connect. That'd be great. But yeah, it's I have an overhead light here, which is crazy because we don't have one in the front living room. I don't believe we had one in my apartment, the other unit we had in this complex either.
The only
But yeah,
place
it
we
is.
have one is the kitchen. We have one in the kitchen, and that's it.
It's very rare around here as well.
Oh, okay, good. Because I was just looking at our light difference, and I was like, man, Seal's got a nice overhead light going on. I'm gonna have to post up in the kitchen next time. But anyways, we have a nice podcast. Did Seal get his thing? Did you get your thing fixed? Or you break your other one now?
We're
Hey,
good.
Seal is
We are
here.
good to go.
Um, so yeah. So anyways, we have a nice, big, long podcast probably, just because we're already long-winded, but there's a lot of big topics. So we'll try to do what we can do. Well,
Yes.
let's start off by congratulating LAFC. They got the Supporter Shield. They did it. Before the season started, I was skeptical of Coach Cherundolo. Right after the season started, I was super excited that he was doing well. Then we kind of hit that little rough patch, and I was skeptical again. Now we're back. We locked it down. We are the Supporter Shield champ. And weirdly enough, so there's one game left. Decision day is this Sunday or Saturday, whichever day. But it's this weekend where everybody plays at the same time. We are the only playoff spot, like full on spot, that's set. We're the number one seed in the West. None of the other 13 spots are locked in, which is pretty crazy. There are three matches that we can just briefly touch on. We don't watch other teams' soccer all that much, but there are three matches that are winner take all for a final playoff spot, which is really cool. So whoever the schedulers are, they really worked it out perfectly, and it's really exciting. But starting off, congratulations, LAFC. They did it. They took the win in Portland, which is even better because I don't know if we'll get to it, but there's some big NWSL news that it is going to cause a lot of firings, a lot of people leaving, and the GM of the Portland Timbers was one of those people. So fuck him, and fuck Portland, not the city, but the team. And it's exciting to get it there. I'd love to get it at home, but if you're not going to get it at home, might as well get it at Portland.
Yeah, that's just crazy. I had no idea that there was I mean, I knew that there was professional women's soccer,
Right.
obviously. I'm not that naive to the world, but I didn't know that there was a legit league of ten teams that played. Like, that's pretty cool to learn. I figured it was kind of like um, what Orlando FC kind of got thrown into for a couple years. The
Mm.
delegation thing, that
Yeah,
like that
yeah. The
I figured it
USL
would be
thing or whatever it
some,
was.
which is probably what it is. Now that I'm thinking about it, but that's the big women's thing, and for literally all, almost all, what was it, 8 of the 10?
Yeah.
If what I read correctly, 8 of the 10 teams, coaches, staffers, everybody are, yeah, everybody's fucked. That's extremely disgusting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so shout out LAFC for kind of throwing a little bit of light on a salty situation when people are thinking about American soccer right now. At least
Right.
LAFC can be like, yo, hey, we just been winning. We ain't got nothing to do with that craziness.
Yeah, we
We
just
don't
win
even
games.
own any of those teams. We just got this MLS team. Sorry for the Timbers little weirdos over there, but we're just over here winning. And like you alluded to, it is really good to get back on top, and for it to be so soon. I mean, we were here what 8 months ago when this cat got hired on, and you were a little skeptic. You were like, "Oh, here we go! Like this is definitely going to be some rebuilding years to come. We're not going to be able to score for shit." And yeah, these last what month? I'd say month or so. It's been a
Yeah.
real joy, a real treat to watch these guys come together and ball. Like it's been really enjoyable. Vela seems to turn back the clock when needed, and that's been very nice to see from what we saw at the beginning of the season when we're just like, oh yeah, he's running on E. Like no, it seems like that Rob Gronkowski playoff type of guy, just saving the
Right.
catches for when it matters most, and he's been able to do it. And all these new guys and old Blessing still being productive. Shit. Sifu, is he good? Is he healthy again?
I don't think so, but he's playing with his national team right now, as far as I know.
Okay, but
So
yeah, we got all the older guys still coming in, scoring, and all these new guys that we're acquiring and stuff, and they're actually coming through. And now, now is when it really starts. We talked about off air a couple weeks ago. We have this, we've done this.
yeah,
Yeah, it's nice to do. Kind of, hopefully this will be like a 2018 Red Sox World Series like birth going into it, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's cool to get this in a year that we didn't think we were going to be able to do shit. But now this is when it starts. This is when our teams have always folded in years past because we cannot, we just can't. Our net's like 8 times bigger in the postseason. Like we cannot defend, we cannot keep balls from going in goals. So maybe that's what the owner looked into and saw what this roster needed, and they got together and made the little kinks and changes they needed to make to get this thing going. But this is where it matters. This is what I've been waiting on. Thankfully, I didn't have to wait a year or two like we thought we were going to.
right.
Serious contenders going into the playoffs.
And
Yeah,
Seattle's eliminated, so we don't have to worry about
yeah.
Seattle coming to town, which they have done twice in 3 postseasons now, knocking us out of this thing. So Seattle's gone. Real Salt Lake might be there, but there's not really a team in the West that we're super scared of. Obviously, there's good teams. Austin destroyed us like 5-1 last time
Austin,
we
dude.
played them, and there are some good teams. The Galaxy actually somehow. If they win
Fuck the
on
Galaxy.
Saturday, they're actually going to host a playoff game, which is pretty crazy because they were right on the elimination spot a little while back. So maybe we'll lose to Nashville on purpose on Saturday. So is it Saturday or Sunday? What's the 9th? So I don't keep saying this wrong. Sunday. All right, so we might lose on purpose to Nashville on Sunday so that they can jump LA because then or Carson because then they would host Carson instead of having to head to Carson. So if you see us play our B team and lose to Nashville, maybe that's why it's to try to hurt our rivals. That would be pretty cool. But otherwise, we have the most points ever by a rookie head coach, which is really cool for Steve Cherundolo. He actually passed Bob Bradley on that list. Bob Bradley, not for us. He coached Toronto for his rookie season, I think. But to have the #1 record of all rookie head coaches of all time is really cool. So I'm glad that he was able to do that. He was able to prove me wrong, and we got it together real quick. But before we move on, let's do recognize these games. If you are trying to tune in to some games, there are 3 games that are winner take all. Essentially, there are 2 spots left in each conference. Cincinnati pretty much has it locked in because they're not playing anybody and they're the 6th seed. But Columbus plays Orlando. So the winner is in as that last seed. They could jump as high as 6, but pretty much the loser is out. If they tie, then Orlando's out. So Eddie, Martin, our boys over there in Orlando, you guys have to win to get in. So hopefully they pull that off. And then over in the West side, there are 2 spots available. There are 4 teams fighting for the 2 spots, and they're all 4 playing in 2 games, which is super cool.
That's amazing.
Minnesota hosts Vancouver, and Salt Lake hosts Portland. So pretty much the teams that win those 2 are going to be in. Obviously, that's not a guarantee. There's points and goal differential and all that stuff, but essentially, the 2 teams that win are in if both teams win, and then the seeding will get pushed around. But if there's a draw or whatever, then who cares? We don't draw around here on No Scrubs Allowed. So the 2 winners are in. Hopefully it's Real Salt Lake because again, fuck Portland. And then Minnesota, just because I went there this year, so I'm going to be pulling for those 2 teams. But it's going to be pretty exciting to come down to the wire. Obviously, if you just have it on national TV, it's probably going to pick one of those 3 games to play. So it's coming down to the wire. And again, whatever the scheduling gods did to work that out, I love it.
Yeah, I think Minnesota will get it too. That's another team, kind of like us. Like they just don't draw. They'll win or lose. Like they just do not draw. So fuck a draw. That shit ain't happening. They're going out with a dub, and we'll see them wrap it in their ass to the right. That's the Minnesota Rapids, right?
No, Colorado is the Rapids. Minnesota is the Loons.
That's why I don't know that. What the fuck is a loom?
A loon, Loon. It's a bird. It's like a big water bird thing, like a crane. It looks like a crane. Yeah, yeah. So.
All right. Well, good for you, Mr. Loons. But yeah, that's. I am excited for it. Sundays have been pretty fun and action packed, and I'm excited for it to continue with soccer. And then Sunday after that, we're gonna have some basketball to watch, and it's a good time. It's a really good time. But how fucking cool is that? I mean, you can't thank the schedule makers when they're getting these late, especially these matchups going in the last game. Like you can't think that this maybe one team per position to get a late push, but not all four of these teams having it to where it is. It's pretty fucking cool. And I'm all here for it. Like anything that can get the MLS out there, and nobody ever watches college basketball until somebody's not going to make it. That's when they start watching. Nobody watches regular season basketball. Even people who watch regular season basketball hate it because it doesn't fucking matter. So I'm excited. Playoffs are starting a lot sooner for a couple of these teams, and ever since being in the league, the basketball league, you're more in tune and aware, I guess, with how these people feel, knowing that it's a winner go homes, and it's really cool that there's so many coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, even like in the playoffs of big teams, a lot of people won't watch baseball as a casual fan until it gets to an elimination game. Those are just the games that matter. So for there to be 3 elimination games that both teams are feeling the pressure, it's like that old wild card game that baseball used to have that they've finally done away with. But it's that pressure for both teams. But before we move on, we'll quickly talk about baseball. But before we get there, this won't be a basketball podcast because we have another week to talk before the games start. But I did want to ask you: did you watch the G League Ignite and the thing? At least highlights or anything? I only got to see highlights, but my dude, they were good.
No, are you talking about the Tuesday night showdown
versus Scoot? Yeah.
Apparently, the Wembanyama dude did good because there's reports coming out that he's going to shut down his season and just chill out.
Well, he said he's not going to because he wants to play.
He just came out.
We'll see.
Came out earlier, but yeah, no, I didn't see anything. I am going to try to clear up some things to be able to watch tomorrow. But no, unfortunately, I didn't watch any highlights or anything of it. I did see that the kid's beautiful name. In the G League, I don't understand how
Scoot?
that's allowed.
Oh, the other guy. Oh, the other guy. Yeah.
The fat guy.
The fat guy. Guy. So that's like a Chad Ochocinco thing, though, right? Like he probably put his last name as that, right?
I understand that, bro, but I can't go name my son
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what, like whoever the Social Security office or whatever, like there has to be a list of band names, right? Like the announcer was hilarious.
But he put ho with a H and a O. It's like Santa Claus. Like get out of here. So like that's insane. And it's not expensive, right? It's like maybe $1,000 to go change it on all your documents and everything. But why the fuck that? That's insane. But
he's an idiot.
But no, I haven't. I am excited for the G League to get started and see. And I like that it's on NBA TV now, more commonly on NBA TV, and we're gonna have more access to it because you can't argue with the fact most of these guys that come out of college are way better than the guys in the G League, but you can't argue the talent level across the board that you see in the G League is a night in and night out basis is going to be way better in the next 5 months before we get to March.
Right.
So
well, if you guys
nice filler.
If you guys are praying people, if you're whatever, pray that this Victor Wembanyama does not get injured before March, April, when the draft is happening, because he's a lock for number 1. No offense to Scoot. Scoot is amazing. He would be the number 1 pick in any other draft, and maybe with an injury, Wembanyama would drop to the 2nd pick, but that's about it.
How tall is Scoot?
6'6", I think 6'4", something like that.
How tall is Wembanyama?
7'5". So
okay.
So these two guys, I'm gonna run both of them down real quick. Let's start with Scoot because he's gonna be number 2. I think he's 6'4". He has a 6'9" wingspan though, and he plays point guard. He's like a really good player. He's going to lead the G League Ignite. He led them last year. I think he had like 19 points or 21 points or something in the game. He shot well. He had like 11 assists. He's an awesome player. Then you move to Wimbenyama, and this is a guy that when you tried to create them in 2K, it doesn't let you because the
Yeah.
proportions are wrong. He's 7'5". He's got an 8-foot wingspan. He shot 7 for 8 from three. He had 5 blocks. He hit a
That's
crazy
insane.
spin move fadeaway. He called out your boy. He waved him over to him and then did a spin move on him. It was nuts. This dude is not fair. It's not allowed, or it shouldn't be allowed. He's legitimately like an arcade mode 2K player that you created. So he is going to be the most hyped thing since LeBron James, without a doubt. I
Yeah,
don't know
but
that he'll be LeBron James. He's skinny as fuck, and he's going to have to do the same thing that everybody else says and fill out. But man, is he talented.
come on, with being 7'5", you have to worry about
The
injuries and stuff
knees and
too,
all that
right?
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like with Andrew Bynum, it was known him coming out of high school. Like not only is he young, but also his knees. He's probably got maybe 10 years tops on these knees, but he was worth the Lakers going out and getting. And so like we'll have to see how that works out. But yeah, I'm excited as hell to see this guy get out. Like you said, I'm ready for March to get here. No injuries from this guy. Have him watch all these guys, these freshmen and seniors that are going to be getting drafted below him, and just sitting around watching, laughing at these guys not being able to do the things he's able to do, and just be bored and hungry for the NBA to get here. Because I feel like that's a long off season for the G League, right?
Yeah.
Whenever the draft's finally here, they're sitting around watching college basketball, and then the draft comes, and then bam, they're finally back in it after what 2-3 months off.
Damn.
So yeah, I feel like he'll come out really hungry, and also Scoot being in the G League too. And we talked about this last year. We felt like the college was still the way to go. Well, I mean, maybe who knows? We'll see how these guys pan out in the NBA. But yeah, it seems like if you're athletically gifted, why not go be around a lot of other people who are really talented and not have to wait 3 months to get around? I mean, unless you're in the ACC and you're playing these Dukes and
Yeah.
North Carolina people every day who have maybe one or two really good guys, you're still playing from top to bottom, like not even anywhere near the level of talent that's in the G League. But yeah, still thinking 7'5" on any college basketball team right now would be fucking fun
Yeah.
to watch every single night on CBS.
Yeah. I mean, if you watched Chet play, Chet is what 7'2" with like a 7'9" wingspan or something. So Chet's the same type of person, but Chet never shot 7 for 8 from three with people in his face. So this kid's already got that a little bit better, and it's really exciting to see. And I just to mirror your point, I think it's gonna start being better to play in these G leagues and stuff if you are talented enough to be a starting player on the roster because obviously go to college if you're going to start, but to be able to play against grown men that are professional basketball players, they're not studying for midterms right now. They're not
Yeah,
trying to uh, keep their scholarship so that they can have their meal plan. They're not trying to do these things. They are out here trying to get buckets because that's how they get their meal plan. That's how they get their next contract. And so when you play with these people that just want it a little more. Like no offense to college players, but there are players in college that know this is the last run for them. Like they're here to have fun. They're good enough to get a scholarship, so they say absolutely, I'll do it. But they're not looking to be the next LeBron James. If you're in the G League, you're trying to make it to the NBA. So I think it's going
yeah,
to turn out to be better. But again, if you're going to be the seventh or eighth man on a G League team, go to college, go be the number 1 or 2 guy on a college team instead. But it's cool to see all these different ways that kids can go now. It's just super exciting.
yeah, it really is. And now that I think about it, never mind. I get it. I answered my own question.
Nice.
They're not drafted. So actually, yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. So these two-way players, do you think like watching the Caps tonight and Nimhard played a lot more in the second half once the starters rested? Even Little Mobley able to get in there and play in the second half. These two guys are on two-way contracts. That's why I'm talking about it. Ooh, do you feel like they'd be better just chilling in the G League and actually playing every night, or do they get more experience, like end up as a better player sitting around and seeing how these guys can conduct themselves in the pros and going to pro practices during the preseason up into the to start of the season and coming up in their 10-game two-way contracts. Like, is that because obviously the most talented ones are going to get it, but is that even more of a break that when you think about the G League, how much they do play, and the
I
fact that
think
these guys aren't playing big minutes?
I think if you get to practice with the big boys and you get to hear what the actual NBA coach is telling you to do, that's valuable. That's super. That's something that they're gonna get to go play with the G League right after they get done with this. So I would choose to just get that little bit of coaching, get to sit in the locker room, understand what it takes to be a superstar. Because like if you're Isaiah Mobley or whatever, or I'll just speak for us Suns just because I know my players better. But if you're in the locker room and you get to see how Chris Paul talks to Devin Booker when you're down 10 at halftime, like that's going to be invaluable stuff where you just go, oh
Yeah,
shit, okay. Like, I mean, obviously in the preseason, they're probably not as fired up as they are in the regular season, but these guys still don't like losing. So if they're down, they're going to be talking about it to see how Monty Williams makes these adjustments and just all that information that you can load in. Nimhard, especially for point guards, it's going to be so much better to be able to listen to a pro coach and then take that back to the G League and say, I got you boys, don't worry. I would think.
for sure. Yeah, I just
All
wanted to
right,
get your
so
input. Yeah, I agree.
that was longer NBA than I thought we were going to do. But no, if you guys are around noon Pacific time tomorrow, hopefully both of those boys play again. We'll see. I don't know why they're playing back-to-back games, but check it out. I think it's on ESPN2 again, so it's going to be pretty cool. But let's shift real quick to baseball. We don't have to talk about baseball this week because the Dodgers got a bye. They're amazing. Franchise record 111 games. It's super awesome. I am so excited to have a team that should be able to roll. But with that being said, what did the Yankees do today? Did they win or lose? They lost. So there
Who
are
cares?
four. Well, it mattered for my stat. There are 4 100-win teams in this playoff. So 3 of them are in the National League, and the Braves. The Dodgers might have to run through all of them because, well, the Dodgers are one, but they might have to go Mets, Braves, Astros back to back to back, which would be an epic run. When the 108 win Boston Red Sox won it a few years back, they had to face 2 100-win teams, which is huge. But to just go back to back to back, you saw how hard it was, and we've seen how hard it was to play these good teams. So it's crazy to see the level. Like 4 100-win teams is already amazing, but I'm scared that we are going to have to face them back to back to back, and that's the one thing that worries me.
Yeah, I mean, and even you kind of hope to see the Astros over the Yankees right now, right? But how they've been able to heat kind of back up. It seemed like they were pretty vulnerable, but they've been getting it back going in the bullpen. I mean, the Astros, it's on any given night, kind of really for them lately. Tonight was one of them nights. They were fucking absurd. But
They're going to win games like 10-1, like with no doubt, even in the playoffs. But
yeah, I said, I don't know. I don't know. If they end up playing Mariners. The Mariners have some great fucking pitching, and they really keep it in the ballpark really fucking well. So we'll see how that fares out. But yeah, don't want to talk about it too much. Fuck the Yankees. I really hope they get railed. I hope the Rays are able to find a way to beat the Indians, just because they always have the
well, the
Yankees numbers.
Guardians. But
Oh yeah, the
no,
Guardians. My
I
bad.
hope the
Whoops.
Guardians make it because they are. I saw just again, I haven't been watching baseball, but I saw it come across the ticker. They have the best record since the All-Star, or second best record since the All-Star break, but behind Houston. So they are actually the hottest team, second hottest team in baseball right now. So maybe they would give the Yankees
Nice.
some real struggle.
But yeah, I just know the Rays always have their number. But yeah, hey, anybody that can beat the Yankees, I'm so down for. But at the end of the day, the top 2 seeds in the AL cannot win a fucking World Series. So honestly,
Right.
I really hope you guys are able to get it done. You guys are lucky the fact that the Mets were able to fall
Hmm.
so far. I feel like because if the Braves were in that slot, we already know how you guys fare against the Braves.
Yeah, but we'll probably
Um,
have to face the Braves after we win. But
yeah. After you're warmed up, getting ready, you got the jitters
true,
out.
true.
You know what your bullpen is going to be faring for that championship pennant run. So yeah, that'll be a lot better than right out the gates having to go down with the Braves. But yeah, so kind of got lucky in that aspect. But yeah, I'm here. I'm excited for it. I can appreciate this new postseason we got going. Again, you already alluded to way too long with the dumb shit. So yeah, it's here finally. It's going to be a long month, and unfortunately, we're not part of it. So I don't honestly know how much I will be watching, but I'm here for it. All that bullshit's over. 62's here. It's gone. Some kid's going to make $2 million if he gives it to the auction house. Yeah, let's
He's
go
not going to
baseball.
get. Oh, by the way, I know you hate the Yankees.
He's not going to give it.
No. He might. He said he hasn't decided yet, but I don't think he's going to give it to the auction house. He's going to wait and hear what the Yankees offer is, but because he's going to get season tickets next year and shit. But
How? Why does football have to give it back? Right? Like
they
football,
still give you shit in football though.
yeah, but they don't have to. Like they can just
Right.
tell you to
Yeah.
give them the fucking ball.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
Right.
it's different, but I know you hate the Yankees and everything about the Yankees. I don't like the Yankees either, but I do need to shout out Aaron Judge in his post
I
game
already
presser. In his post game presser, he was asked about the ball and he said, "Hey man, it'd be great to get it back, but that man caught it. It's his ball now, so he gets to decide what to do with it." And that's super classy. That's super cool. Obviously, that's what you say in front of the cameras, but it was
Right.
just really cool to see that he was like, "Hey man, that guy caught it. Now it's his ball. So whatever he wants to do with it is cool." So I
Did you
actually
see
kind of
the
admired that. So come
Did
to
you see the
LA, Aaron.
guy jump into the bullpen?
Jump
Like
like fell down. Yeah.
in hopes that it would
That
let
it
him
would
into the
bounce back.
bullpen? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now he
But
got banned from baseball just because he didn't.
are you
Was just
serious?
trying.
He did?
I don't know. I don't know. But if you jump off the banister, you get kicked out. I know that.
Yeah,
So
that'd be crazy. I mean, maybe you can say he slipped. Maybe they would let that one go, right?
right.
I mean, Texas, huge ballpark, beautiful ballpark.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of money. Seems like they need every ticket sale they can get. So maybe they'll let that one slide because I mean, honestly, how many times is somebody gonna have a chance to jump in the bullpen and take number 62?
Right.
Like
Right.
honestly, in either NL, AL, it doesn't matter. But yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to Barry Bonds, who is still the only one to hit over 60 on steroids for the American League. So shout out.
He wasn't in the American League. Barry Bonds was
Yeah, he
in San
was.
Francisco, bro.
Oh, I'm stupid.
No, this is the American League record, steroids or
Oh,
not. All the rest of the people were, because
steroids
it
and
was
the NL.
Sammy Sosa
Sammy
twice,
Sosa, Mark McGuire.
Mark McGuire twice, and then Bonds. So
You're right. I'm stupid. What
no
do I know?
worries. But
Just a Red Sox fan.
so just regardless of your thoughts about Judge, how do you feel about this record? Obviously, for the AL, it stands. It's great. It's the most in the AL. But where does he match up against like the Sosas and the McGuires and the Bonds in your mind, like with this home run feat?
We'll see. The fact that these guys were able to get it done for so long, um, and it seemed like, McGuire and Sosa came out of nowhere, but they did do it for a couple seasons.
Right.
We saw Barry Bonds make a living off of it. At times, we were able to see Albert Pujols, even though he never had a career like or a season like this.
Right.
Most of his career has been even in the last couple years being able to define himself on game-changing home runs. And that's going to be the next step where he gets these home runs. Yeah, it's cool if you get home runs, but if your team's not clocking 100 wins, getting the number one seed every year, like what the fuck does it matter at the end of the day? The fact that when Barry Bonds was doing it, how they were doing it, and the wins they were able to get in that time seems to be pretty important in his legacy. Steroids and no steroids, Barry Bonds was like the ultimate just gut punch to a team and would find home runs in games that they really needed them and would really cling to. And that's going to be his next step. Like, yeah, if he's able to get 55 home runs the next 2 or 3 years, 55 plus, obviously he's going to set himself as one of the best hitters of all time. Hopefully it's not in a fucking pinstripe jersey,
Right.
but yeah, this year it's awesome. It's great. But we also had Peyton Hillis on the cover of Madden for a great year. Toby Gerhart was a Heisman winner or finalist
No, he was a finalist. Yeah.
for the Heisman, and nobody knows who he is or what school he went to.
Wisconsin,
So
right? Was that Wisconsin?
Stanford,
Stanford. See, I didn't even know. I
Stanford,
know it was a red team.
yeah, Yeah, but I thought Wisconsin at first when I first said his name too. But we always have these one hit wonders, and yeah, Aaron Judge is a great player. Are we gonna know him for a great home run hitter? That is to be decided. And a lot of these guys too, he does have a hand up because a lot of these guys were already into or past their prime. This kid's
Right.
what 27 years old still,
Yeah.
so he has a ways to go. I feel like Mark and Sammy Sosa were in the 34, 35.
They were
Bonds around 31, 32 when he finally got over 200 pounds and jacked up to
right.
250. So a lot of these guys were pretty old when they started hitting these balls out. And so that could very well, and to think in a day where we just saw Albert Pujols be one of uh, three,
Four. Four
four
with him.
people.
Yeah, he joined three
All
other
right, so
people.
yeah, so to hit over 7 home runs, we could see this cat do it before he actually finally gets facial hair to shave off.
Dude, so I hate Barry Bonds, so I will match your being able to talk about Judge by being able to talk about Barry Bonds. What Judge doesn't have yet is the fear in the pitchers that Barry Bonds had. Was he on steroids? Yeah. But did he ever strike out? No. Like if you put it in the zone, he was going to hit it. And there was no strikeouts with Barry Bonds. He wasn't going to miss it 3 times. And
Yeah,
he wasn't going to swing at a ball outside the zone. He put fear in these pitchers that his slugging percentage because of walks and all that shit was just, or his on base percentage, I guess slugging doesn't count with walks, but was so good. Like it was so, it was unbelievable. They said something like, if you could add, I think it was like 300 strikeouts to his season, and he still would have set the season high for OBP that year. Like he
it's
was
crazy.
so unbelievable. You could not, if you were alive then watching baseball,
Yeah,
you just knew it was a home run. It was so crazy to watch. There
and that's
were kayaks over in McCovey Cove ready to catch these balls. Like Judge does not have that yet. That mystique of just it's a home run or a
and
walk.
honestly, at the end of the day, that's why I'm all for Bonds eventually getting into some way for them to vote him. Like, there's got to be one year they come out with a players poll and they get him and Pete Rose in. Like, it has to happen just for what they were able to. Like, if you give any average Joe these superpowers that you want to say that these steroids gave this man, they're
Right.
not going to be able to do shit. They're just going to be a jacked up, roided man at the plate. Excuse me, a la Canseco's bitch ass. Like you're
Exactly.
like it doesn't matter just because you take steroids doesn't immediately make you a great baseball player. Like you don't have the hand. It doesn't give you great. Yes, it enhances your vision, and enhances your coordination, but it's not going to give you the fucking hand-eye coordination to hit 90-mile an hour fastballs into
Yeah.
a fucking cove. Like it's not going to give you just the natural God-given ability to torque your body into such a fashion where you can send a bitch into a fucking cove that nobody else can do. Like I think in the last 12, 13 years that he's been gone, there's only been like 50 cove shots, and he was doing
Yeah.
that every fucking season over there himself.
Yeah.
So like that's the main like the way this guy was able to just handle the plate, just absolutely handle the fucking plate, and like you said, put the fear of God in these pitchers. Like he deserves to be there. Yeah, did he fuck up and kind of better his career? He would have had an amazing career. Just home run numbers would have been the same.
Right.
His little skinny ass with his little earring being bigger than he was still a menace. He was
He was
still
a
able to get on
2020
base.
guy. He was
He was
amazing.
able to
Yeah.
get on base all the time, still any base he wanted to. Like the kid was a fucking phenom. Went ahead and got jacked up and turned into Wreck-It Ralph, and we saw what he was able to do there. But the dude was an absolute freak. And yeah, he fucked up and did steroids, and I appreciated the fuck out of it as a kid
It
because I
was
didn't
fun
know
to
any better.
watch. Yeah,
Yeah, I
for
didn't know
sure.
any better. And at the end of the day, if you want to go ahead and have tiny balls and a big head and hit big ass home runs, I'm here for it. I mean, it's your body. Do what you want to do. And like, if they would have let it, made that shit legal for, hey, Barry Bonds is doing it and it's great for the league. Let's go ahead and make this shit legal for a season. We wouldn't have seen as many numbers jump as everybody thinks they would have. Like,
Right.
not a lot of people were able to do what that guy was able to do without the Roy. So yeah, it was amazing to see, and maybe Judge will get there. I mean, it's really hard to. That's a big ass fucking body to bring so close to you, and then get your
Right.
hands out, and I don't know how he does it, but yeah, there's time. I thought this was a lot sooner than I expected. I mean, everybody's been expecting it for years, like we talked about last week. But I'm here for it, man. We can both agree that we don't think he's going to be a Yankee after this season.
No.
So,
well, let's
I'm here
talk about
for it.
that for a second. Not necessarily where he's heading, but this is going to be something we don't normally do. This is a full-on talking head topic question that you go to commercial right before you answer it, kind of shit. Is
For real.
this the best bet on yourself? Don't sign that contract just yet. Give me one more year moment of all time. Like he said, nah, I think I deserve a little bit more money than this. And then he goes out and he hits 62, and he's gonna get what, 325 probably next year, or not next year, but for a contract.
He could very well get more than that. And the way these contracts are getting set up, he's not gonna have to spend a lot of time getting that money either.
No,
Like,
it'll be front loaded for sure. Yeah.
He could end up getting fucking paid. But yeah, other him and now Lamar Jackson, I really hope kids nowadays don't start thinking this is the
They're
way to
gonna
go,
lose
because
a
this
lot
shit
more.
does not happen.
Yep.
Who is it? Football player wanted to represent himself. Didn't wanted to represent himself. Didn't sign back with the team that he had just played for. They tried to get him for like 12, 13 million. Now he's playing for like $4 million this year for a shit team.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
So that happens. Then we also have Dennis Schroeder, who told the Celtics, "Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go find better money." Turned down like a $60 million contract, and I think he's sitting at $8 million a year now.
Yeah.
And so this shit doesn't happen. So yeah, I shout out to Aaron for doing that. And I really think it had more to not just with the money, but the team in itself and where he thinks they're going. And but yeah, to be able to in the major league nowadays, these guys are going places that they can sit on for a couple years and try to get more than one chip. Mookie fucking Betts.
Right.
When we were finally able to get Trevor, I think that's something he looks at going up. He'd rather come there, get sent off here just because he understands the trajectory of where we're going. And but yeah, I'm here for it. And yeah, it's got to be really exciting to think about with his family and stuff, because you know how family members get. Like whenever you get rich, you all of a sudden have 100 cousins.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, bro, sign that fucking check. Sign the fucking check. Like, get that check. Get that check. Like, what are you doing? Bro, how much money are you making this year? Get the check. Like, just fucking sign the contract, get the check. But yeah, dude, it's easy an extra 60, 70 million. Easy.
Yeah. So good for him for that.
Crazy.
I mean, the word is he might go to San Francisco, which would suck, but at least he'll be taking all their money, which would be great. So let's move on to football. Pro football didn't happen this week. Nothing happened in pro football, I'm pretty sure. No, we both lost. Both of our teams lost. Your team looked like they were doing great, and then I texted you, can we stop saying that Philly is the best team in the NFC or the league or whatever I said? And then Philly read our text, and they were like, bro, fuck you. And then they turned Trevor over 5 times.
Somebody in the NFL had to go down and remind the Jaguars that we're the Jaguars. So that's what it was. But before we talk about any of that game, I do want to give a shout out to top 3 in my heart, Jaguar ever. We got Fred Taylor, Mark Brunell, and then this guy, the boat, Blake Bortles, came out. Who has heard anything about Blake Bortles being on a team this offseason? Not I. Last offseason, he went around to the Saints and did all this stuff, going different places, trying to get on teams, couldn't. Was just chilling on the Part of My Take podcast. Him and them boys are really close. They've had a good friendship over the years. And he's like, yeah, I'm retired. Like, well, yeah, no, I'm definitely retired. And so I guess he's officially retired. I was already going to wear this jersey just to try to have him come join the team. He said he would come out of retirement for a 2-year, 15 mil. So if we can just give him a 1-year, 10 mil to get him back for the rest of the season, that'd be fucking awesome. I'm going to miss you. I love you. I appreciate the fuck out of you for everything you did. High school at Oviedo, getting that little town on the map where we went to church at. Then what you were able to do at UCF, getting us out of the Godfrey era into a great time,
Yeah.
being able to go out and take that, really build that school up to what it is today. Um, and then to get drafted by the Jaguars, which I didn't think he would. I was going for it. I was pulling for it. Didn't think there was a chance in fucking hell it was going to happen. It did. We had a couple of bad years, couple of tough seasons, but by God, did you not come through in 2017 and just do what you did, man? And I'll never forget the fucking Case Keenum, Nick Foles, Tom Brady, and fucking Blake Bortles picture looking ahead up to the Super Bowl. And man, we were almost there, dude. And you're definitely top 3 all time Jaguars. Only were there honestly 3 full seasons before you got shafted. But I love you, man. I appreciate you for all the memories, not only in Jacksonville, but in Orlando, in Oviedo. And it was a hell of a time, man. And enjoy your retirement and go out there and hit some construction and burn some cigs.
Yeah, it was crazy because we had the Godfrey like aura coming. I was in school there. Seal was there in Orlando, and like Godfrey was the savior. He was the man. He was going to put us on the map. And then just as an afterthought, it was like, oh, when Blake Bortles signs with UCF, just local kid signs with. He was very good. He was like one of the highly recruited players, but he wasn't Godfrey. He wasn't going to be Godfrey. And then,
Yeah, I'll never forget real quick that
yeah,
Jeff Driscoll, Blake
because
Bortles
he
had
went to
Haggerty High
Haggerty.
School
Yeah,
game. Yeah,
yeah.
that Haggerty High School game. It was a huge game, and it was because of Jeff Driscoll playing. Like it was all Jeff Driscoll, and we were like, "Hey, Blake Bortles, he's coming to UCF. Apparently, this is gonna be awesome." And but yeah, Jeff Driscoll was just the fucking guy
Yeah.
in the area. That's literally anybody was like, "Oh, cool. Oh, he's from the area. Yay, another
Yeah.
local guy. That's awesome." Like it wasn't like, "Let's go." Like if it would have been Jeff Driscoll, it would have been a whole another 5-star quarterback talent, homegrown guy. Nah, it was homegrown guy. That's cool. Sorry.
Yeah, and then so Godfrey is fine. He was doing okay, right? But we were down. We were trailing. We were just yelling at O'Leary, calling for his head. Put Bortles in. Bortles comes in, leads a comeback, ends up just him and Storm Johnson and all these dudes start running the table. He's throwing touchdown passes to Godfrey, and he completely saved, what was that, 2016, 15 or 16? When he
Oh
saved our
wait, no,
season.
way before. I want to say 12 or 13.
Was it?
Yeah, like way
I don't know.
before. Because 2010 was Georgia.
What bowl game did we won Georgia with him?
So
That was
it might
10. Are
have
you
been,
serious?
yeah.
No, because we won in 14. 14 was his junior year when we won the Fiesta Bowl, right?
No, 14 is when he got drafted.
Yeah, after winning the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, that was his senior year though. He stayed.
Yeah, but you just said 2005 or something, didn't you?
No, 2012. It was like 2012.
I don't even remember what I said anymore. Damn.
You
Anyways,
said like 15, 16.
oh, I was thinking 12. All right, well, whatever.
But it was his sophomore year, right? He finally
Yeah,
showed up.
yeah.
Yeah, 2012.
And he saved us. Just
Doesn't
saved
matter
us.
when.
And it was
Saved
just amazing to watch.
it.
It had to be. I mean, I graduated in 2012, so obviously, I don't know why I said 16. But I was in California in 2016. I'm trying to make myself younger than I actually am, is what happened. But yeah, so it was just amazing to watch him play, and just when he got drafted 5th overall, right? You guys got him 5th,
Third.
3rd
Almost.
overall. That was just a huge win for UCF and for him, obviously. And
Yeah,
so that's really cool.
absolutely. And like you said, Fiesta Bowl, and really was able to get them into that aspect of being a team that can throw the rock, and got Mackenzie Milton to come in there, not just Blake, but Scott Frost and their relationship,
Right.
whatever. But to even put UCF on the map to get Scott Frost, it seemed like Blake really helped make that place really premier on the cusp of George O'Leary leaving. Because I mean, honestly, if Godfrey finishes that year and stays as a quarterback, I mean, it could all go to hell for that program and what it was able to flip into. I mean, like you said, you graduated 2012. It would have been a mess if Blake didn't come in and you have another year or two with Godfrey. I mean, we got to hope that next offseason Blake would be able to come in and win it out. But we all know George O'Leary's a knucklehead. And if the fans would have been like, he had to see it in practice, right? Like, the thing about Blake that makes him the fucking boat in everybody's eyes is his just chill, nonchalant, subtle, fuck you swag, right? Like in an interview with Jackson when he first got drafted, lady at his home, what do you do when you wake up in the morning? I usually take a piss. Like he's just so chill, just so fuck you and so nonchalant, and it's just swag. Like just swag. His giggles he does after he beats a cornerback or a defensive end off the edge, rushing. Like it's just his swag. There's no way it wasn't seen in practice, right? For 2 years, this dude's just out swagging Godfrey, who's a swagmeister. Has to be, dude. Like he was just a guy, and and you could see a right off rip the relationship he had with these guys, right? Like it was just immediate that he had a chemistry, had a connection, and man, it would have been night and day of what this program is in my eyes if you didn't have Blake Bortles for those 2.5 seasons. Like it
Well,
was a great run, a great time, and I hope you enjoy the retirement that you've already had for over a year now.
and I can thank him now that he's retired. I can say this without being a scandal. I guess he's not going to run for a governor or anything. I hope. But he was a communications major too, and I was in a group project with him and 2 offensive linemen, and I just happened to be the guy that got stuck with him, which was super cool for me. So the first we get grouped up, and the professor was like, "All right, guys, get with your group and discuss what you're gonna do." And I go over there and I'm sitting with them, and Blake just goes, "Hey, what's your name?" I was like, "Travis," and he was like, "Let us take care of this." And I was just sitting there going, "These guys are football players. They're probably not smart." I was like, "What do you mean let you take care of this?" He was like, "Don't worry, we'll tell you what to say." And so I was like, "All right, whatever, dude. I'm down for not working." And then, so I didn't hear from them. I didn't see from them. Sadly, I was in a group and didn't actually get to hang out with them. I was hoping that I was going to get to hang out with them. We get to the day to actually do the presentation, and we all go up to the front. We all 4 say our name, and Blake, we didn't have a presentation at all. There was nothing on the screen or anything. We just all 4 said our names, and Blake goes, "And we know the professor's about to give us an A. That's our presentation." And we just walked down and sat back down in our desk. We got A's. So whatever he
Hey,
did, we got that football A. And so I got to be one football A, which was really exciting to do. I didn't have to do any work. It was great. But
that's awesome. That's crazy. But yeah, and he wasn't like you said. He's not like like animated about it. He's not loud
mhm.
with it. He's very subtle. I fucking love the guy. He is awesome. I he's been with every team, but I know he made his name in Jacksonville. So I don't know where the fuck he lives. He probably lives in LA because who the fuck wouldn't?
Yeah, I mean, he was on
He
the Rams for a
played
while. So,
there. Yeah,
yeah.
that was his other kind of nice hanging spot as a backup. But yeah, dude, I would love to have him come in. It's crazy. I already plan on wearing this, and then I wake up to him retiring
Yeah, that is
officially.
pretty cool.
So, but yeah, shout out to him, man. Let's get back to the shitty ass game that was played on Sunday, though, shall we? But yeah, like you
You
said
can
to
talk
start it
quick
with,
because we do want to get to
yeah, I
college
know.
football picks, obviously, too. So, and we don't
Yeah,
like talking about ourselves losing.
we were up 14-0. Looked really good. Looked great. Went down. Was able to score, but it got right back to what we've already know is Trevor's biggest fault: holding onto the ball. 4 turnovers, 5 as a team, 4 off of him. 3 fumbles. It's really bad, but at the end of the day, if you think of any team in the National Football League that gets 5 turnovers and only loses the game by 8 and still had a chance every fucking drive to go
Right.
in and tie or take the lead, that's that's got to mean a lot for our team and for our defense. And all across the board, everybody said our defense is fine for a defense that had to go out there that many times on quick changes and still be able to hold that team to only 28 points, 29 points. That says a lot. I'm not upset. I'm not mad. It was windy. It was rainy as fuck. At the end of the day, we win that game without two of those turnovers. They got 17 points off of 3 straight fumbles. So yeah, at the end of the day, it sucks. It sucks to lose the way we did. Nobody wants to go 14 in the first 7-8 minutes of the game and then give it up, especially to your fiance's team. She didn't say
Right.
shit. She didn't even mind the football game. Didn't even know that we were winning. Except when I'm that pick six, let's fucking go. Like I'm sitting in bed trying to be quiet. Let's go. Let's go. The babies, let's go. Let's go. So and she doesn't give a damn. And then right when she looks up and sees 20-14, I'm like, bro, y'all just missed a fucking field goal. Get out of here, bro. You can't even hit an extra point. And I was like, you weren't even talking to go somewhere. And yeah, that stinks. But yeah, I'm okay with it. We're still in the top tier of the NFL as far as NFL writers, power
Right.
rankings, and ESPNs, all this stupid dumb shit. Who people just like us get to rank it, except
Exactly.
they get paid to do it. They don't
Right.
only get to do it half the time. So yeah, I'm still here for it. I'm excited for it. You guys, uh, yeah, not so much to look forward to after that game. I feel like on the offensive end, the receiver who caught the first pass of the game is now retired. So
We fell victim to Pat Mahomes. I mean, that was a game he wanted to win, and we've said this many times because we both voted against him or picked against him during the draft that he was drafted. We've been humbled many times, and if this man is on his game, if he's out, he's ready to play, he's in the zone, there's not a defense that can stop him. And so I'm not worried from a defensive side. I still think we're one of the top defenses in the league. But you saw the touchdown to Clyde Edwards-Helaire where he scrambled around like crazy and then threw some stupid little half underhand pass. Like the defense isn't
that
going to be
thing,
worried. Yeah, the defense isn't going to be worried about that. Yeah, you have to wrap him up, but like is Derek Carr going to do that to us? No. Like that's a Patrick Mahomes kind of thing. So I'm not super worried. I don't know why I picked Derek Carr out there 1-3, but like that's just a Patrick Mahomes thing that's gonna happen from time to time. Is Baker gonna be able to do that when we play Carolina? No, no, he's not. Is Mariota gonna be able to do that next week? No, he's not. So like I'm not worried at all. I am upset that our offense was kind of sputtering, but we're still trying to get shit together. We have injuries. Like you said, Cole Beasley retired right after our game. He was like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
yeah,
Um,
I don't
but
want to
I
play
mean,
this much.
when we get Julio back, when Mike Evans is in the program, not trying to be suspended all the time, you saw what happened once they finally started clicking. Godwin's going to be healthier every single week. I'm not super worried, and the NFC is just weak, so we just
the
have to
thing
make the
that
playoffs, which we're going to do, and
the
it's going
thing
to work.
that the thing that pisses me off watching the Bucks, I'm gonna say it after. All right, so the thing that pisses me off about watching the Bucks is the fact that you see when they're down. Oh shit, we're down 10 now. I have to go down and score, and he'll feed Chris Godwin. He'll
Yep.
feed Mike Evans. Like he'll make a fucking tight end get open for 7 yards, 2nd and 3. I'll get 7 here. Let's get a first down. Move the chains, right? Why the fuck don't they put these in the first 15-20 game scheduled skit fucking start out? Like, why don't
I
they
don't know.
feed the? They literally tried to let's go 1 or 2 to Fournette. Let's give it to this little fucking Scotty Williams nobody knows about guy or
Let's throw it to our
the
backup tight
yeah
end.
the
Let's do
guy
all
out of the
kinds of shit.
practice squad. Let's start feeding these people who aren't really going to matter here in the fourth quarter. Like, why don't they start doing that? It frustrates me being your friend, being a friend of a fan for that team because if you guys came out doing that, it seems like if there's a team that you're going to do it against, it doesn't matter what they did against the Colts. Even when I said they're dead, sorry, Patty Mahomes. Sorry, big old Andy Reid. Don't come sitting on me, sir. That was a dumb statement by me. But
Right.
like that's a team that you might want to come and feed your guys and get downfield and let it be known, hey, we're here to play. Like after that fourth quarter drive, I think Godwin had 2 receptions. Evans had 2 or 3 receptions. Fournette was nowhere to be found on the fucking field. You had another running back in that bitch, which I didn't draft on the fucking
Rashad.
DFS for that
Yeah.
game. Yeah, but dude, like it looks so easy and so like a well on the machine. Like you
Methodical. Yeah,
guys,
just
yeah,
moving.
and like you guys have already like performed it in a ballet before. It was just so easy. Why do you wait till the fourth quarter when you're down 10? Why not do that at the beginning? You guys, at the end of the day, don't have the defense that you kind of thought you did. That
Right.
secondary is getting toasted. The run game really was able to kind of bounce
That
back
was
at the
weird.
end, but
Yeah.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire started out pretty fucking hot.
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird that I don't think he's that good of a running back. I think he's a fine catching back, but I've never seen him run like that. But I'm not too, like I said, I'm not too worried. Like, they're gonna snap back. As far as what Byron's doing there on the offense, I don't know why I feel like he scripts these plays because he's trying to get hired somewhere, and then after his 20 plays are up, Tom's like, all right, bro, like let me show you how this is supposed to go.
Has to be,
And
bro.
then he takes care of it. But I love Byron Leftwich. I hope he figures that out. But I think he's overthinking his own self. He's been out coached by Sean Payton before. He's been out coached by all these dudes, and so now he's trying to outcoach the great Andy Reid, and he overthought it, and that's a problem. So hopefully he'll just settle down. You don't have to overthink things. Just say we have the best quarterback of all time. Truly, in Mike Evans, no shade to Odell Beckham Jr., but statistically the best receiver from that draft. So just play it. Just do what you got to do, and maybe he'll get that together. I'm not too worried. We'll bounce back. The Falcons suck. You guys will bounce back. I don't know who you're playing, but they probably suck.
Texans.
Yeah, so we're good.
This is what I told you about. Our next 5 games, we're good to go.
Oh yeah,
Texans, Colts, Raiders, fucking Broncos, Giants, other shitty teams.
nice. Yeah, we're pretty good to go too. We have like Falcons, Steelers, Panthers. I don't know. So let's do it. So let's get it.
Time to eat. Time to eat.
So let's move on to college. There's only 3 ranked games this week. Let's start by shouting out Seal. He obviously got to go first, so he picked the upset we both wanted, and he came through with flying colors. It was an easy pick. We all knew that was going to be the case. My pick did not go well. Maybe I should have thought about it more after I saw him steal my pick. This was the first time that my pick got blown out, or that any of our picks got blown out. So that was pretty sad.
Can we not pick the same one?
I mean, I don't think so. I don't think you're supposed to pick the same one, especially since we're keeping score, right? Like, you gotta be able to.
I mean, I know it's a cop out.
There were other upsets on there, though. I had a chance to pick winners. There were upsets that happened. I just picked the wrong one.
I've already been long-winded, but this fucking FanDuel free game that gives you the points, 1,600. My max was like 1,300. Somebody had 1,600 points.
For what?
Upsets. Like, if you
weigh it,
the cumulative 6 picks. I'm going big this weekend, bub.
You got to pick all the best ones.
I understand there was upsets. I can see there was upsets. Dude won like fucking $750 because he was the only one. But yeah, I'm sorry, but I feel like the one that I'm gonna do this week is another easy one. I don't know how it fares in Vegas, but I did see the spread and it's not that big either.
Well, if we were allowed to pick the same ones, I would have picked the Oklahoma upset as well.
And when I saw your little Beaver fever didn't go as planned.
It didn't even go close.
I felt kind of bad because I could see in your face right when I said TCU, you were kind of like, fuck.
Yeah, I had to just find somebody on the schedule that looked like an upset. Utah, though, making Florida look better every single day.
Indeed.
So let's start off with they're all early games, all these ranked matchups, which is crazy. But Rocky Top is heading down to Baton Rouge. They're still undefeated right now. They're number 8, but this is a big one. And obviously, we're talking ranks before we talk upsets, but this is a potential one. They're heading into LSU to face the Tigers. What do you see going on here?
This is a huge one. Obviously, I have a lot of hate for Tennessee as a Gators fan. Growing up in the 90s, besides 96, honestly, that was the only year it seemed like we had everybody's number. But Tennessee would just fucking roll. They always did that checkerboard shit when we were there.
Yep.
I guess they don't do it that much anymore. This was the only third time they had done it since like 2011.
That's crazy.
Against the Gators. Yeah, but we're just used to Tennessee being a great team, right? And have a lot of hate for them just growing up. After last year's 850, some ridiculous parlay I did. Was going to win a good amount of money.
Did LSU?
LSU fucked it up, and unfortunately, the Hard Rock app didn't have a sellout. I forget what it's called really, but
The
it's
cash
fucking
out.
yes, yeah, sellout fucking
Yeah.
button. They don't have it. Didn't have it for the Hard Rock app then. Hopefully they do when it comes back. Or hopefully I'll be able to have FanDuel because that's on there.
By
But
the way, did you
I have a
see
lot of
the FanDuel ticket that's been going around the internet from last football? So, just to interject, a guy picked all of the Sunday football games correct. He was winning 25K, and he had the Rams on Monday night, and he
I
chose
did see
not
that.
to cash it out, and the
Yeah.
Rams fucking
The
choked it away.
$10 wager. You would have won 73,000.
If they
Didn't
would,
cash
if the
out at
Rams would have won,
23.
yeah.
Yeah, didn't cash out the 23.
Boy, I would have been pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and mine wasn't anywhere near that. I think I put up $1 to win 180. So
Yeah.
it was still on that kind of spectrum. I mean, times that by 10, that's a,
Yeah.
a good bit of money. I mean, still 1,800 on $10. He was going to win 23,000 on $10. So that's insane. But yeah, that sucks. That's a gut puncher. But yeah, but no, I really think this was a time I could bet and do parlays. This is a time that I would pick LSU. I don't know the odds. I don't know how much it's going to help or hurt. But this LSU team is good in itself. And being in Death Valley, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, they
Right,
call
stadium?
it.
Death
Them
Valley.
and Clemson call it Death Valley for some reason, but yeah.
But the LSU did it first, right? They were known first.
I think they're the
Clemson was
true
just
Death
a
Valley.
school in Carolina.
Yeah.
All right. But I really think they're gonna be able to get it done. Now, again, game last year was in Death Valley. Apparently kickers can't be at home either.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. The spread is 3 when I looked at it. So maybe these fucks remember what happened last year and know that they can go down. 3 is a good number because they might lose by 2.
Yeah, no,
Fucking
I think I agree, and a little foreshadowing into next week. I think this is going to begin a huge upset streak, where these home teams are going to start upsetting because Tennessee heads to Alabama, or Alabama heads to Tennessee next week, and we'll revisit that next weekend. But I think Tennessee will be coming off a loss. I think like Baton Rouge is just too hard to play in. Death Valley is tough. Kickers miss there all the time. Ask Auburn, ask Alabama, ask LSU. But I think that it's going to be a really close game, and it's going to come down to the wire. And Death Valley's just too hard to win in, man. And I think, like you said, this LSU team's pretty good, and I think they're gonna take it.
Ask Florida State's all bitch asses in the 2000s. It wasn't even against us half the time. Half the time it was against Miami, but still.
I admit field goals are hard to kick in Death Valley specifically, but
okay.
That's it.
Sorry.
So moving on to the next game that will be played at the exact same time. This is where College Game Day is going to be. For some reason, my Spotify is trying to open right now. This is where college football playoff. What game day? Damn. See,
College
Spotify fucked me up. College Game Day is going to be at, which is nuts. It's going to be in Lawrence, Kansas for the first time ever. 5-0 Kansas Jayhawks are hosting 4-0 TCU, your boys from last week. They're not the upset team. This team, or right now, they are the 17 seed. They're 6.5-point favorites, heading to 5-0 Kansas. This is ridiculous. Kansas needs put some respect on these fools' names, dude. Like, please. What in the world? Kansas is good. I watched Kansas play.
They've been here before.
They're doing they haven't been here before, but they're doing
their thing.
Before.
You don't remember, what was it, like 2000? We were in high school still, I want to say. 2007, 2008. Kansas was a great football team. A good football. I forgot what coach they had. He went on to get really great coaches.
That fat guy. That really, really fat guy.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name. But
I'm here for it. The fact that Game Day now has went to Appalachian State for the first time, and now they're going to Kansas for the first time. And we grew up with we remember both of these teams being significant in one way or another. And the fact that Game Day has been around for so long, has been to so many different places, and now they're going to their 77th different place or something like that. But it's crazy how they just teeter-totter the same fucking schools for the most part. And yeah, hey, we need to put some respect on them. Unfortunately, they're running into a fucking freight train and TCU right now, and they're just different in themselves, and they're feeling a little disrespected with that 17 still attached to their. It's still a pretty good number. I don't think they had one on them last week, did they?
No, that's why you got that upset in.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's the one. TCU is going to win against Kansas, but I think Kansas is still going to have a good year. They're still going to be around, but unfortunately, they're not in the SEC. So after they get that loss, they're kind of screwed.
I think Kansas is going to feel slighted that TCU jumped from unbeaten to ahead of them to where now they're the favorites. Get out of here! You're heading to Kansas. That this team is, they're still the home team. I know they're not like Death Valley that we just talked about, but they're the home team for a reason, man. They are a good team and they're going to play like it. And I just think this quarterback that they have is really growing and getting on people's radars. He's going to be able to make a name for himself. I hope he's not a senior because he probably needs another year to really make a name for himself. Maybe he can transfer somewhere. But no offense to Kansas. But I think they're going to win, and I think they're going to keep winning until they run into Oklahoma State, whenever that is. I think they are going to build up the Big 12, and it's just crazy to see. And I know TCU is in the Big 12, but it's just crazy to see how the Big 12 is going to be faring, because we were scared that when we got there, Oklahoma and Texas would be leaving and it would kind of be a shit show. But Baylor's looking good. Oklahoma State always looks pretty good. But now we have Kansas ranked. TCU's looking good. Kansas State is ranked. Iowa State is always pretty good. So the Big 12's in good standings, and I just think Kansas is going to continue this Cinderella run and move it forward, man. I'm really
And
excited for it.
Oklahoma and Texas are playing this weekend, and we're not talking about them for the first time in a pretty long time for a ranked
They're
matchup.
always
So
ranked, right? It's so crazy, but
yeah, so
that's what
this
they
is
did. Neither one
yeah,
are ranked, right?
yeah, nah,
That's so
no.
crazy.
I think they're both 3-2 right now. So they're going in, or 3-3. They're going into the SEC at a great time to get fucking railed on some more.
Yeah. So then the last ranked matchup is Utah heading to UCLA. And I've now bet against Utah, I think, all 5 times, and they're 4-1. So I'm a little nervous about this one. But Utah heading to UCLA. I have to pull for my city mates over here at UCLA. They are surprising
Okay, that's
everyone.
why.
Nobody watches the Pac-12, but I have to say UCLA one more time. They are trying. The storylines are coming together for Caleb Williams versus whoever the hell UCLA's quarterback is when USC and UCLA match up at the end of this year. It's going to be super exciting. We're going to have the Ohio State, Michigan, the UCLA versus USC, and then like Oklahoma State, somebody for the playoffs, man. It's going to be super exciting. So I think UCLA is going to continue this run, and I'm sorry, Utah, I do keep betting against you, but I think UCLA is going to keep climbing.
I agree.
Nice.
1,000%. I'm 3-1, right, in the upset picks.
Yeah, I think so. You lost that one double overtime game.
Yeah, that bullshit. All right, because that just confused me. They're 4-1. I'm 3-1. I feel like we missed a week, or something happened, or they played an extra game
We
so
did
far
miss a
already.
week because I was in Minnesota and we didn't do our upset picks.
Oh yeah, haha. You're right. All right, cool. Fusion over. But yeah, no, I agree. UCLA, their offense is kind of starting to get put on a national scale, and Utah really doesn't seem to be able to against a premier defense. I don't know if UCLA has a premier defense, but for the most part, they're able to do enough to make sure they win the game 47-45. But I can see definitely a high scoring affair. I don't know Utah to be high scoring this season, so I really think UCLA is going to have. It's going to start out. It's going to look like this UCF game that we watched before recording. It's going to start out slow for them. It might look a little ugly, but then it's going to bust open, and they're going to get shit done. And it could end up being a scoring fest for one party if Utah can't get with the program. But
Ooh, okay.
but yeah, for them to see 11, I think that's a lot of respect just to what that culture is and what they're trying to do and what they've been able to do the last couple of years, and also just hoping and praying that they can turn it around eventually and be that elite Utah team that everybody thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think UCLA is going to come out on top.
All right, nice. We agree on 2 of them, and we're opposite on 1. That's exciting. So let's get to upset picks. Let's see if Seal takes mine again. Seal, you still get first dibs because you are rolling along. So what do you got?
So if it's a ranked matchup, I'm able to pick.
You can pick any upset. Yeah, any upset as long as
cool.
you're picking the upset.
Yeah. Well, I'm really adamant on LSU.
Nice.
Winning. over Tennessee. I really think that's going to happen. And even though they're both ranked, LSU's 25. So if that was a rule, I think I could get away with that one. But it's not. So
Especially,
haha.
I mean, 25-8. So I mean, it's a big upset either way, as far as
Yeah,
rankings are concerned.
yeah. And for some reason, Vegas is helping me out by making it a 3-point, a
Right.
3-point dog. But I'm here for the 3 points as well. But it just makes me more certain in the fact it's not. I think the last couple weeks they haven't been crazy big, but last week I think was 6.5. The week before I think was a 8 point, 8.5 point. So this one's a little more favorable for me. But I really think LSU. It's going to be a fun fucking game to watch. And it sucks it's not going to be one of those LSU Death Valley night games, right? Like, because
Right.
that place can get going. At 7:30 kickoff, that place can get thumping. So that kind of sucks. But I guess LSU still not getting enough respect without old Ed Orgeron there. But they'll get there eventually. But hey, playing at 12 o'clock, it's still going to be a fun matchup to wake up to for my lazy ass. But yeah, that's going to be mine. I kind of wanted to go UCLA, but that could go either way depending on where Utah wants to wake up. I don't think there's any chance Tennessee is going to be able to get it together. Strictly on my hatred for Heupel. So to come back here next week, be 4-1, and that motherfucker get a loss, that'll be
True.
great.
Well, I think UCLA is going to roll, but I try to avoid the double ranked matchups for my upset picks, and I'm actually picking one that Vegas has more in my favor. But just like you, I think they got the favorite wrong, just in sheer fact of like if you're a bookie, not who you think's going to win. I think they got the favorite wrong, and that's number 20 Kansas State going to Iowa State. I
Ooh.
have Iowa State. They should be favored, in my opinion. They're a good team. Kansas State's gotten a little bit overinflated because of that big game against Oklahoma when Oklahoma was undefeated at the time. So Iowa State's played a lot tougher games. Yeah, they had 2 losses, but it's against tougher teams, and they've played them pretty tough. To be a home dog is always hard when you're not a bad team. So I think that should be a pick 'em at worst, but I think Iowa State should be favored by 1 or 1.5. So I think they got screwed a little bit there. But either way, it's an upset because we only do the rankings out here, not the odds. But I have Iowa State taking it home. And my backup pick, by the way, I was ready to hedge my bets if you picked them, was going to be Florida State actually over NC State. And I hope to God I'm
Ooh.
wrong because fuck Florida State, but I think they are going to beat NC State as well.
I hope
Um,
not.
but yeah, I hope not also. But that Jordan Travis kid is pretty good. And he's
So
got a cool name.
what's the spread on the Iowa State game?
It's 2. So Kansas State by 2 is what the spread is.
Okay, I got you. So
But
all right, that's cool. So really quick while we're on this, Texas A&M kind of made a name for themselves by being those Bama killers. Is
yeah,
this another chance that they get it done? Bryce Young hobbled might play. If not, um, that backup looked a little fucked in
yeah, he
my
did.
eyes. So, do you think there's a chance that even with a banged up Bryce Young or a not so good looking of what we've seen backup, does A&M have a chance to be a Bama killer for a third time to be the AP #1? Twice has been against Bama.
I mean, they're well coached,
Well,
obviously.
I think they've done it 5 times, 2 against Bama, so it'll
Yeah,
be a third time they knock off Bama at number
they're
one.
definitely well coached, but I just don't think they're as good of a team this year. They don't have the same class of people, and I think Alabama sneaks by them this by. But what I was alluding to, that's why I said hopefully. I mean, Bryce Young, hopefully he's healthy. That's not what I'm saying. But if he doesn't play, then that upset's coming next week when Tennessee gets to host Alabama. That's the
Right.
one I'm looking for. I just don't think Texas A&M is as good. If they were home, maybe. Jimbo knows how to coach, but on the
Right.
road, it's going to be really tough. And
Right.
we know that Saban is going to have his boys ready always. So I don't think this is the week. But there was an odds. You know how you said McAfee takes the odds or does the odds when he's looking. Michigan
Yeah.
State, they suck, but they are 27-point underdogs to Ohio State. And I just think it's a letdown game because Ohio State has bigger fish to fry a little bit later on. They're on the road, but they're looking ahead to the Iowa, the Penn State to get ready for. So I don't think Ohio State's going to win. Don't get me wrong, but 27 points is a lot. But I think the lowest that Ohio State's won by is like 40 points so far this year. So they have been rounding people, but just be on the
Yeah, I don't
lookout
like
for a
those
little bit of
odds.
an upset. Just be on the lookout for a little bit of a spread upset, not a real upset. But Michigan State likes to play hard against Ohio State. So moving forward, do we have anybody to shout out that's extra? I don't think we
Yeah,
do.
real
Oh,
quick.
you do.
I don't have any like an ending shout out, but real quick, shout out Jordan Poole, my guy, trying to disrupt that team. Clay Thompson doesn't like him. In Japan, they did a 3-point contest, and he put on the mic. Yeah, I'm just trying to humble Jordan Poole. Then today in practice, Draymond allegedly punched Poole, and they got into a scuffle. It's a known thing apparently within the team that they get into little confrontations, little barking matches every once in a while. So hey, anything to break up that fucking dynasty, I'm here for. I don't care that this team was drafted for the most part. There was a time when you had a fucking cheat code on your team and KD, and you ruined a boy's dream, which was mine. Fuck yeah. So yeah, I'm here for it. Shout out Jordan Poole. Keep doing your thing, bro. Ruin that team. Get Steve Kerr all mad and to where he doesn't even want to coach anymore. That'd be great too.
Nice. Well, I can send us out of here. I'm gonna send us out of here with Luis Arias. This guy, he took the Triple Crown away from Aaron Judge by winning the batting title. He plays for the Minnesota Twins. The Minnesota Twins got eliminated from the playoffs just this past week. And a lot of times when you get eliminated, when you're close like that, you rest on your laurels. You even saw Aaron Judge after hitting the home run yesterday. He rested today. Luis Arias said, "No, I'm going to play. I'm going to make sure I get this batting title." And he could have sat. The news about Judge came out earlier. Arias could have sat and just clinched it, but he said, "No, I'm going to play." He went out. He got a hit. He raised his batting average. So it just gives me, obviously, one, he took it from Judge, so that's really fun. But just even when you're eliminated, even when you're on the outs, when you're playing for a quote unquote bad team that's not going to make the playoffs, it's not going to do their thing, you can still do your thing and you can still fight and keep pushing forward and doing the best that you can do, because who knows who's looking, who knows what stats are out there. Somebody's going to want a guy that can bat 316, lead off, steal some bases, and he's setting himself up for the future. So it doesn't matter what situation you get put into. Just keep doing you, keep fighting. Don't get discouraged when you're losing, because the tides will turn. And when the tides do turn, people are going to be looking at who was ready when you were down at your worst. So be like Luis Arias. Shout out to him. And as always, be a stud, not a scrub.